Welcome back to Live Palace Focus, the Tuesday night show from 8 p.m. every week. And this show, I am excited. I'm joined by Stan here. As you can see from the title, we'll be discussing Van de Beek potentially joining Palace. Also, another transfer rumor about JP's future at the club and whether he might sign on a permanent deal, which is kind of a shock considering where it was 2 months ago. And also, we'll be talking about that Liverpool game in more depth. We'll be opening up the lines. As always, if you do enjoy the stream, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future Palace content. Stan, where have you been? Where have you been? As soon as Olise went out on form, you started...
I was coaching him, man. I was coaching him, telling him what was expected of him.
Yeah, well, you're back now, and there's going to be apologies made on this show. Trust me.
Big apologies, and to Olise for the disrespect, man. I knew that I was frustrated because this is what I wanted him to do. But man, what a player we've got.
What a player we've got indeed. But before we talk about Olise and the Liverpool game, I just want to quickly get our thoughts, and welcome to everyone in the chat as well, sending in your comments on Twitter. We can't see your comments. So if you want to head over to our YouTube channel to leave a comment, feel free. So, Stan, before we actually talk about the Liverpool game, Roy Hodgson, he's back at Watford. When he left Palace, I thought that would be it. He's 74 years old. He wants another role. And what did it make of that decision by Watford and by Roy actually joining them? I think, in a way, it is their best possible appointment at this current moment of time in a short deal, because, you know, if Roy can't keep them up, then who can?
I think the one thing you've got to realise about these legacy managers, these Roy Hodgson, the Sam Allardyce, the Tony Pulis, they love a pound note. It don't matter how old he is, what he's done or where he's been. He loves it. Roy Hodgson loves a pound note, mate. What do I make of it? I think for Watford, it's a good appointment. He is their best chance of keeping them up, because the last 2.5 years under him at Palace were horrific, but it is 2 banks of 4, defend, get them on the break. There's goals in that Watford team. They've got Emmanuel Dennis. They've got the other 2 Donnies that play up top for them as well. Look, good luck to him. Obviously, I'm not their biggest fan. I think they're a bit of a joke, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, just, you know, they're always bantering us, and they were cussing Roy Hodgson. There's a dude on Twitter that said, I think he like a year or 2 ago, he's like, "Oh, is Roy Hodgson dead yet?" Well, mate, Roy Hodgson ain't dead. He's your manager. So
he's a Watford fan as well. So typical.
Yeah. So you know, like, apparently they were ahead of us at his progressive club, etc., etc. Look, he did a great job at Palace, but it's going to be frustrating. And he will literally look at that fixture list of going on, and he'll go, winnable, point, and the rest he'll just lose, because that's how it goes. All the best.
All right, we're going to be opening up the lines in just a second. But before we do, let's quickly get your thoughts. Well, someone left a comment. Before we actually do, I want to just quickly say this. Louis, you're 100% correct. Watford are going to beat us. They're going to do the double over us. It's just going to happen, ain't it? It's just going to happen.
Nah, mate. PV's at the wheel.
We've seen Roy Hodgson as a manager. Trust me, they're going to be sitting deep and trying to hit us on a counter attack. It's not going to be.
They won't beat us, man. They won't, mate.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not as confident as you are,
mate. From what I saw the past few games against top teams, as long as we don't dig a hole for ourselves, and with the potential player that's coming in, they ain't beating us, mate. They are not beating us.
The lines are open. If you want to join us, share your audio or video to share your thoughts on all the latest that we're going to be talking about, click on the link. I'm going to pin it in just a second, where you can have your say on the Liverpool game and on the transfer rumors that we'll be running through. Because, boy, things are spicing up now. We changed from the Aaron Ramsey to Donny Van de Beek. So that's going to be a good chat. But before we do, let's start off with that Liverpool game. So 3-1 Liverpool. It's disappointing defeat, of course, but I want to start off with the performance, because we spoke about the ref. Everyone has talked about the ref, the neutrals, the pundits, and we all know what's happened, and we'll quickly mention them as well. But before we go into the refs, what did you think about our general performance in that game, Stan?
I thought first off, we couldn't get near the ball, couldn't get near them. And they just showed what a good side they are. And you've got to give, what's it called? You've got to give them credit for that. Like, there obviously are some good players in that team. I thought second half, little tweak, we had him on the ropes. Who was the fullback on the other side that Olise was running ragged in the second half? Was it Robertson?
Robertson, yeah, it's Robertson.
Trent?
Yeah. It should be, it was Robertson.
Yeah, it was Robertson.
He came up against Robertson, yeah.
I think Olise ran him ragged. I think we caused them problems. I think Schlupp got a little bit more space in midfield. You obviously saw the ball that he played over the top to JP that obviously led to the goal. I thought the front two linked up well. I got to give a big shout out to Gay and Anderson. Fantastic game. So there's a lot of positives to take from that performance. And obviously we'll go on to the performance of the refs. But I think the less airtime we give these dickheads, the better, mate, because there's no point getting angry about it again.
Exactly. Before we do continue, let's bring on a couple of people who have called in. Luke and Henry.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Welcome on to the show.
Hello. How you doing, man?
We're just talking about the Liverpool game. What did you guys make of it?
Absolute shit show from the referee.
Yeah.
But
apart from the referee, because I want to end the show.
I don't even want to invest. Like Stan just said, I don't want to invest my energy talking about that, or I'll go on all day. But I thought the contrast from both halves was so big. Like, first half we were so poor. Like, I was actually getting really angry watching that. Like, just thinking, what are we doing? Like, where's the urgency? Where's the defending? It was like we were half asleep, to be honest. And Liverpool gifted us a chance from Olise, and you could have probably done better. But yeah, second half, we nearly somehow pulled it back.
Yeah, we nearly did. And Luke, on another day, where I stand from it is, we could have easily, when I say easily, got a point out of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give a shout out for a few performances, and leading up towards our goal, Mateta. Did you see his running behind?
Yeah,
that's what
made it, wasn't it? Yeah,
that was what made the goal, and that was very good. I thought we could have got a point, or maybe got all 3 points if it wasn't a penalty, or Liverpool didn't get another goal in the first half. But overall, it was a good. Are we second half team? Are we going to call us that? Do you think?
Well, I mean, like, what annoys me is that, like, I know before the game I was saying that it was a bit of a what do you call it? A bit of a free hit, but just the way we played in the second half, I can't help feeling like if we did that in the first, I really think we would have at least drawn, if not won. So
I agree. I agree. And that's why I was so annoyed about the penalty. It
killed the match. Yeah,
it was a point dropped, but I actually thought that, like, if we're getting the equaliser, we're going on to win this game. Do you know what I mean?
Because we had the momentum, and we were really getting into Liverpool and putting them under pressure. And I was just thinking, where was that in the first half? But yeah, it was just like, obviously the ref killed our hope, like Vieira said. But I mean, the chances we had as well. Like, let's not forget that Edouard could have easily scored that chance. Gallagher had a header that I don't know how that didn't go in.
Mateta had a couple in the first half.
We're going to be, we've got stats out later on in the show where we're going to be showing it, because when you look at the expected goals this season, we've lost so many games where we've actually had better expected goals than the opponent. So we'll be talking about that later on, asking whether that's luck or talent. What is it that we are struggling to finish these chances? In this game, I thought Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson, he was man of the match. And there was a reason for that. We played very good. We created opportunities. We could have easily scored a goal if we were facing another goalkeeper. But it was just one of them games where Alisson saved everything.
Olise tried. That lob that nearly got him. Yeah. I was just like waiting for the ball to hit the net, and I was like, wow, how did Alisson actually save that?
You know what, though? Yes, he was man of the match, and yes, he was wasteful, but you've got to look at the improvement from last season. Obviously, they've done a 7-0 at Selhurst, no fans, but like, even before, we would have rolled over and it would have been 3 or 4-0, no problem. But You've got to
Yeah.
give credit to the team for coming out, and that's why I think people
Yeah.
were so gutted. Like I was so annoyed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was just so annoyed. Like even after I was watching the Brighton game with a few of the like the CPFC Canada guys here, and they were like during the game, they were all screaming and shouting and this. I was so calm, even at like 1-0, 1-1.
Do
I
you
was
know?
like,
Do you know why though? Do you know why? Because it's Brighton, and they don't take their chances.
I know, but like I was even like going in before that penalty, I was so calm. I was like, I just knew that there was going to be 2 or 3 more chances had the ref not given that, where we would have put at least one of them, if not 2 of them, away. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I knew.
I do. I kind of know what you mean because even when the penalty happened, I didn't necessarily feel like it was going to. I thought, you know what, this might not. There's a chance, you know. I just had something in the air. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah. So, but
let's quickly get you both of your thoughts on the transfer rumors. We're going to talk about it later on. But Van de Beek, how do you guys feel about that rumor? If it's reported on a short-term deal, would you guys be happy with it? He was
I don't know
nominated for
what I'm
Ballon d'Or in
surprised
2019, which is kind of crazy.
I want to just quickly touch on Hodgson as well. And I know you were mentioning it before. I can't actually believe it's Watford and Hodgson just don't seem to fit together very well in my book. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to be more surprised by, the Hodgson thing or the Van de Beek thing. But I think if we do get him, it'll be a very good signing because
all the best to Roy Hodgson, mate, at that club.
Absolutely, I'm not. Obviously, I wish him all the best, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, this is Watford. They change managers like recycling bags. They've got a little under half a season, I think, to try and stay up. They've got nowhere near the quality that we had when he took over us a few years ago. And how long is he going to be? Like, he's going to be there probably a few months at most. I don't really see how that's going to work out for him. But as for Van de Beek, it's a really good deal if we can get him.
Going back to Hodgson, money. I said 5 minutes.
Maybe more.
He loves a pound note.
Get it though.
All these legacy
I don't
managers,
really get it as well.
they love a pound note.
But it just doesn't make sense. Like, all right, you might love
Yeah.
money, but you're 74. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into his personal life, but he might
No.
wanted a challenge. He might be bored. It might be the money.
Maybe.
I am not too sure.
I mean, if I was in his position, I'd be tempted to just sit back and enjoy retirement. I don't know if he's enjoying retirement or not, but
Well, obviously not, because he's gone
really
there.
isn't. Yeah, because he's gone to
Maybe
Watford
not.
out of all places.
maybe
I
he's
mean,
just a sucker for temptation.
Yeah. Look, Henry, pleasure talking to you. There are a couple people behind the stage as well.
Can I just touch? Can I?
Yeah, Luke, I'm going to get to you as well. Yeah, I'm going to get to you. I'm going to, we'll talk to you if you want later on in the show when we talk about transfers. You can jump back on and we can talk to you a bit more in depth.
Sure.
But
Nice
I have
see
to just
you,
rotate
Stan.
now.
See you later, mate. Nice one.
Nice to see you, Henry. Take
Cheers.
care. Luke, yeah, finally, sorry.
Roy Hodgson, I think I'm actually in the same boat as you, D. I think we still got to play him twice, and if he does, I feel like he's gonna get double points on us. 6 points.
No.
I said that as well. I said that as well.
I can't.
I've said that as well. It'll be so typical. It'll be so typical of Roy just doing a double over us. You just know they're going to be sitting deep. We're going to have all the ball, 90% possession, and Roy's going to do what we done to Brighton last year. Was it last year?
He's not going to do it, mate. It's not going to happen.
Not
going to happen. Not going to happen.
And then
we're getting at least 4 points from them. At least.
Okay, well, and then the Donny situation. What a player he's going to be for us if he does sign. He could be our new Kabay.
6 months Kabay.
For 6 months. Kabay. Blockbuster Kabay.
I mean, he's going to be an absolute baller for us. Can you imagine him, Gallagher, and then Chiarte in a holding role, and then you have our front three up front?
I mean, trust me, we're going to be talking about it more. Van de Beek could be an exciting signing if it does happen. Luke, thank you for joining us.
Up the Palace.
Up the Palace.
See you.
Now let's bring in T as well, our
he's
co-host,
back.
and Ahmed. Yes, he's here.
Man,
He's
get those
here,
guys
he's
off
here.
there. Get those guys off of there,
Good
man.
evening, man.
What's up, man? Good to see you, Stan, man. How we doing, man?
Good.
Good to see you, T. Good to see you. Before we
Always.
talk, let's quickly get Ahmed's thoughts because he's been waiting quite a while. Ahmed, thank you for joining the show. What would you like to say?
Thanks, guys, for letting me on. It's been a good. What do you think about the last game, guys? Do you think it was a fair result? Because the change in momentum shift, what we saw in the last game, means this season we have been every game, means all the games we have played, everything has been like a second half. Why isn't it that we can't replicate that in the first? The moment I was working at that time, and while I was working, I was just looking at the scores, and it was like 2-0. I said, God help us, this is going to be a bad day. Then we pulled one back, and then I'm reading everything is going, it's Palace all the way, and then we give a penalty, and which was a shocking decision, to be honest. But what do you think? Do you think it's just the concentration which we are lacking? Do you think it's that entire scenario where that you're facing a big six team, you're facing Liverpool, you don't want to go head for head? I don't understand, because in terms of defensive side, we have been lagging big time, conceding goals in the last minutes also. And every time in the second half, our performances have been better, but we are still struggling big time, especially with the set pieces as well.
I just want to quickly go in with this because Ahmed, you did bring us back to Liverpool game, which I wanted to do. And I personally think in a Liverpool game, what it wasn't that lack of concentration or we're facing a top six side. It was just a case of how we started off the game with our tactical setup. We started off with a 4-3-3. Liverpool outran us. I haven't seen a team dominate us like that at Selhurst and pass the ball and have all that movement for a very long time. I just haven't seen it. This season, they were the best team at Selhurst in that first half. I wouldn't even say the first half, the first 25 minutes or so. But where I think the game did change is when we changed our formation. So that's why I don't think it's due to a lack of concentration. I think it was due to our tactical setup in that game. When we did change to that 4-4-2, especially in the first half, you did see improvements. We started creating more chances. And in the second half, I mean, we dominate Liverpool. Liverpool fans have admitted it. They said that, on another day, Palace could have got a point. So I think instead of, looking at the concentration or whether big side, we play good against big sides. We've got good home form as well. But it was just a tactical setup, which Vieira did change. But T, do you agree?
So I think in talking about what Ahmed's bringing up, I think right now, Patrick Vieira is a better in-game manager than he is a pre-game manager.
Agreed.
I think what it is he's great in training and getting the players to understand the system. But I think possibly right now, when it comes to some of the tactics or some of the planning before the game, it may not be spot on as they would like it to be. And then we get into the match, and at that point is when his player sense comes in. His ability as a former player in the Premier League as being a professional, where he can see what needs to happen, what needs to change, or how to counteract what's being used against the team. And that's why we come out and we play so much better in the second halves of games, because he has then the time to make adjustments at halftime and then come back and have us play in the second half.
I do think, though, that we were missing a few players. Like, if you have, like, a ball shielding player, so if you have, like, Coyote, who's that shield normally, or even Luca in there, the first half, it might have been different. But, I mean, Luca's so slow, they would have outrun him, like, pretty quickly anyway. It's Liverpool, man. Like, when they're on form, bear in mind they were without Salah and Mane as well. So, yeah. But when they're on form, even without them, like, they're rapid. Like, that Trent is unreal. Their midfield wasn't Hendo playing right wing for them.
No, he was
everywhere. He was everywhere.
Well, he was everywhere. Yeah, he was everywhere. But he was a midfielder, but he was everywhere. It pretty much summed it up. Their movement was great. Their passing, yes, but their movement, we just couldn't handle it.
And
sorry.
No, I'm gonna say just what they play. I think the reason why you see Henderson all over like that is because he plays sideline to sideline behind the action.
But he was everywhere, and I was thinking, like, my God, This guy is running. He ran us ragged. Like him alone ran us ragged. So the second goal there shouldn't have stood either. But
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Hold it in. But before we move on to the goals, I just wanna say, JP, he started this game. That was the change. Quickly going to the lineup. JP started, Eze dropped. He started up front in a 4-3-3. As I said, the formation did change to a 4-4-2. What did you guys think about his performance in that 4-3-3 in comparison to the 4-4-2? Because I've come up as a theory in that game. Maybe the sample size is too little, but when Edouard went next to him, I thought we saw the best out of JP. Both of them two connected very well together. And in a 4-3-3, I felt like he was a bit isolated at times. He's good in the air, but he's not as good as Benteke. And what happened was in the first half, when we were booting the ball up, JP couldn't handle it. But when he had someone next to him, he could easily give that one touch to Edouard. So what did you guys think about the 4-4-2 change and Edouard playing in that system? Because I quite liked it. I thought we saw the best out of him like that.
Really liked it. Really liked seeing him. And you know what? Like 9 times out of 10, like he's a player, mate, that he gets a chance, he puts it away. Yeah, he misses the odd one here and there, but like he gets a chance, he knows how to finish.
And I think part of it, what we got to understand is, I think some of it is just who you're playing against and who their personnel is. I mean, naturally, against two center backs like Van Dijk and Matip, it's not going to be easy for any one center forward to have success against those type of guys. They're big center backs. They're mobile. Those are top quality center backs back there. So what do? You bring in another center forward to help out. You know what I mean? I think what it is we're seeing that Mateta is a competent enough player to play well with a striking partner, or to play well by itself, given the matchup. I don't think anybody was going to do well against
his
those
hold up was a lot better this game.
It was. It absolutely was.
He's starting to learn that. He's still no Benteke. Like Benteke, like you're gonna take one on his chest, bring it down, boom. But much big improvement. Big improvement.
He's ahead of Benteke. He's ahead of Benteke in the pecking order, it seems like, for Vieira, anyways. So that's kind of interesting. But later on in the show, we'll be actually talking about JP again, because there is a transfer update, and it's not the one to Saint Etienne. It's the one that potentially might cause him to stay at Palace on a permanent deal. So it's been a crazy month for JP. Ahmed, we're going to talk about Olise now quickly. Once again, on 1v1 situations, you cannot stop him unless you send 2-3 players. But one thing that I want to touch about Olise, and I want to get your thoughts on it as well, and send in your comments, everyone, because I want to get everyone's thoughts on this. Olise, look, he's always had that ability going forward, for me anyways. I personally felt that. And maybe he needed some time to play. He needed consistent starts. But we're seeing the best out of Olise. But there's also been that talks about whether Olise should start down the right-hand side because Jordan Ayew is better defensively. Did you notice something different in this game, maybe with Olise tracking back? Because not only just this game for me, in the last couple of games, Olise has been solid tracking back and helping out Wardy.
True.
Yes, in terms of tracking back other side while doing the defensive side, it's okay. Yes, he can do it against big teams. Yes, he will have to do it if he wants to create that kind of an impact. He will be required, like Ayew does it, but we need to give him the freedom. Like we have given Zaha over the period of years. We need to give that freedom to Olise as well. In terms of right back, we in the last game itself, we were completely shattered. Ward was completely shattered in terms of Robertson running up and down, and with Jota on that side. Olise was coming to help him. Gallagher was doing the same, but this limits the potential on the other side in the final third. So getting Olise to do that defensive side, it is, yes, he can do it, but he'll have to improve a lot, I think, for sure.
Ahmed, before you go, because we're going to have to rotate it as well, just quickly your opinions on the transfer rumours. Van de Beek potentially joining Palace on loan. What do you make of it? Do you think he'll be a good addition, even if it's for 6 months?
Yeah, he would be definitely a very good addition. But in terms of transfers, I think we need to get this Kouyaté backup sorted out, to be honest. Because, to be honest, while Kouyaté has been gone, we have seen the value of it. Especially we need a DM for sure, because we have been exposed so easily. We have limited the others playing. Basically, Will Hughes cannot be playing the same way. Conor Gallagher You have Olise tracking back. You have Edward who has to track back. It limits the offensive side of the game. We need a good DM. We need to scout a good DM for sure, I think.
Yeah. Ahmed, pleasure talking to you as always. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Nice one, mate.
Catch
Thanks.
you
Thank you,
next week.
guys.
Hopefully.
Take care.
See you.
Take care.
That was Ahmed. Before we bring on Nick to the show, I want to say to you, Stan did apologize. You missed it. He wasn't here. He apologized about Olise. He had to apologize.
Clip it.
Yeah,
clip it. But
yeah.
where was it at? How many? What minute?
You have to apologize. I already said it before the show. Stan was talking a lot about Olise.
We won't start this show unless you say you're going to apologize.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the terms and conditions.
He's doing what
I respect him for that.
Thought he could do, you know. Like,
yeah. But no, but talking about what Ahmed was saying, when we're talking about what you were saying about what's the difference, I think the difference with Olise, especially in that last game, was the emphasis that was probably put on him tracking back in that particular matchup. It's like, yo, you have to track back in this game. If you're going to play against Liverpool and you're going to start in this match, you're going to have to track back just because of the way that they play.
Yeah. Nick, thank you for joining us. Joining the live Palace Focus show.
It would be Tuesday if I didn't see you, look, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What would you like to say about the Liverpool?
Senegal, Kuwait, they won 2-0, but looking at the BBC website, Kuwait wasn't in the squad. Do we know what's up with him?
Well, we tweeted it, and apparently he's got suspension or something. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to lie and say I know, but I heard something about suspension.
What?
Oh, I know the Cape Verde keeper got sent off for clattering into Mane, and the keeper got sent off. He couldn't walk straight. He was so concussed. He was all wobbling about as he was going off the pitch. 2 players sent off. So yeah, they've got another match on Sunday. So Czech is still out there. Ahmed was right. We do miss him a lot.
We do miss him. When's Cote d'Ivoire playing?
I think Wednesday night against Egypt.
Yeah, they play tomorrow against Egypt.
Wilf hasn't been starting, but when he's come on, he's been very, very good.
Yeah,
we missed him Sunday.
I just want to read out this comment from Josh. All your comments on the screen, we've seen it and we've acknowledged it as well. Keep sending them in. Thanks to everyone who's been tuning in to the Live Palace Focus. We appreciate you guys. As always, you're all legends. Josh ZPFC asked a question. It's an interesting question as well. People have negative opinions on 4-4-2 because of Roy, but we can still play exciting attacking football in 4-4-2. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely.
I just want to say, I don't want to talk about Roy, but Josh mentioned,
especially now because we're talking about Watford's manager.
He's a Watford manager as well. The 4-4 Roy and the 4-4-2, I just hated it. I hate that formation.
That 4-4-2 was horrific. It was 2 banks of 4. It was just. Like,
well, that's the point of the 4-4-2.
No, listen, it was so defensive. Do you remember England under Sven? Did anyone ever watch England under Sven? He used to play 4-4-2. Think of the players he had then; they were great. It worked beautifully.
Yeah, but look, when England had Roy, it was Kane on corners, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Got to Watford. Let's have those keys to Croydon back, please, Roy. You're not welcome anymore. You're not allowed to drive sheep through the high street.
He's going undercover, mate.
Nah, he'll keep him up. He's a good manager. Yeah, I don't want him to. But
it's all about the tactics and the way in which you play a formation. I mean, I figure we can hate almost any formation that's out there, depending on how a manager decides to deploy it and play his team. You know what I mean? You can play 3 at the back.
Before as well.
Yeah,
we have seen 4-4-2 in game. Yeah. We haven't started with it, but have we? No, we haven't started.
We started with it first game. That's it. Only time we started with it was Chelsea. That's the only game we started with it.
I think Vieira doesn't mind it.
Mr. Mateta, in his post-match interview on the Palace website, said that after half an hour was when Vieira switched things and brought Edouard into the centre with him more. And we did look a lot better the last 15 minutes of the first half. Why did it take him that long to switch it? Because from where I was sitting, it was plainly obvious it wasn't bloody working after 10 minutes. After the goal had gone in from the corner, after the second goal had gone in, it was plain it wasn't working. Why wasn't it switched sooner, do you think?
I'm not going to complain and say he was going to switch sooner, because it's not just a case of Vieira saying, all right, 4-4-2. I think he must have spoken about it with the management team.
Yeah, you think about some of those goals. The goals weren't necessarily
exactly
a reason for the formation either.
And also, he switched in the first half. I can't really complain about that. He switched in the first half. Normally, our previous manager, just quickly coming back, he didn't switch at all. He didn't switch at all.
He kept going and going.
Yeah. This is lightning fast.
He went from plan A to plan A again, didn't he? Yeah.
So I don't mind it switching.
Who were the subs?
Plan A
87 minutes, James McCarthy. 88 minutes, Martin Kelly. No, Jara Riedewald. Or Schlupp.
People are going to get upset. I don't want to talk about Roy. I know some people still, they have respect for him. I don't want to upset people right now on the show. I want to quickly, exactly. I want to quickly talk about the goals a bit. Let's run through the goals. I got some screenshots. We can quickly talk about it and what you guys think about the goals. Let us know in the comment section as well. So let's start off with the first goal. Virgil van Dijk. I don't know who thought it was a good idea. As you've got the screenshot here, I think Joachim Andersen is marking him. Schlupp is there as well. I think Schlupp has got Fabinho, as you can see it. I don't know if you guys can notice Virgil van Dijk right through the middle near the penalty spot towards the left of it with Schlupp and Joachim Andersen there. I think Joachim Andersen has Schlupp, and when you watch replays as well,
Schlupp is just in the way.
Yeah, Schlupp is in the way. He's trying to push Schlupp out of the way. It doesn't work, and the worst player to leave open for a free header, Virgil van Dijk gets a free header and he scores it. No surprise there. But I just want to talk about Joachim Andersen's performance, because despite that goal, I saw so many positives there. And I mentioned it in the player ratings as well. I think Joachim Andersen as a defender is improving. And I have seen improvements as of late. And not just his abilities on and off the ball, but up in the air. Aerial duels, Joachim Andersen. I know they didn't have a physical striker, but his overall game lately, ever since we turned this year and he had that little injury, which he missed a bit of smell, he has improved. Is it just me?
He's improved a lot. He has. He's solid. You know what? I'm going to blame Schlupp for that VVG goal, because he got in Andersen's way and there's no way Andersen was getting there. I'm blaming Schlupp all day long for that. And obviously, like, once you've got him, like, he's a beast, right? Like, he's got a free header, like, with a sighted goal, he's banging that in 9 times out of 10. So, yeah. I blame Schlupp for that goal.
What? Is there anything else you want to add, Nick, about that goal? It was just poor defending, really. It was a team error, and you can't.
Considering we've been poor at set pieces, I thought that we'd started dealing with them a lot better, and I was very, very disappointed to see that happen. Going back to what you were saying about Andersen, he won 7 aerial duels, the most he's won so far this season. He just seemed to have a bit more confidence. I don't know whether he's been practicing jumping, whether they got one of them little trampettes at the training ground that he can go on, but he just seemed a lot more assured. So that's good. And his passing as well, his long-range passing, pinpoint as ever. And, we say, or we've been surmising on the match report, that the reason that we sit back so much is for the opponents to come forward, and then that's when you get Andersen to launch the ball over the top and get inside, get the other side of them. Liverpool were quite slow. We were able to do that quite a bit. As for the second goal, what's Mitchell doing there on his own? I know we can say that Firmino.
Talk about it.
Yeah, we know we can say Firmino is offside, but who's that on the right? Is that Hughes? You should be covering the right back position.
I think Will Hughes,
or the left back position, and left back. Or who is the left winger who should be covering that position? Is it Edouard, or was Olise over that side at the time?
No. Olise was on the right. Olise
was on the right, so that would have been Eze at this point.
No, Eze wasn't on then.
Yeah,
Eze was.
No. It was Edouard.
Yeah, it might be Edouard or Schlupp. It depends if it was the 4-4-2, because Schlupp went out wide as well. But with this goal, look, someone should have been on Oxlade-Chamberlain. I know we said at the start of the show, if you guys are just joining us now, we don't want to talk too much about the referee, but we have to, of course, in certain goals and certain decisions. Firmino, in this position, he's standing in an offside position. Maybe not pinpoint here, but he was offside. There are screenshots.
And he's interfering with play as well. So
he's interfering. If he's not there, Mitchell is not going to be marking Firmino. He's going to be on Oxlade-Chamberlain. So for me, once again, if you're talking about decisions, yes, the penalty was shocking, but it was just more than a penalty. How on earth is VAR? VAR is meant to spot these type of errors. He's intervening. He's there. He's trying to get involved in a play. In fact, he actually jumps up for the ball whilst in the offside position.
The rule of offside says that any player making an attempt on the ball is involved in the play.
So
A couple
of things here. One, if Palace scores that goal, it goes straight away. They check it straight away. Why is not a single one of our players crowding around the referee telling him to check that goal?
I didn't really see that part.
But it's one of the, but Stan, it's one of the things where I'm not going to blame Mitchell. I'm not going to blame anyone for
he was
not
doing
going
what he's
to the
supposed to
referee
do with
because
a man in his area.
It was not as obvious like, oh, he was offside. We just conceded a goal where we're getting absolutely dominated. No, we're getting absolutely dominated. And then we just go and concede another goal as well. I don't think the players are going to be running to the ref saying offside, because as a player, I'm not going to really notice it. It was Tyreek Mitchell that was there that can potentially.
You'd be going ref check that. We should be.
Well, the ref.
It's on bar. It's on bar.
To give Kevin Friend his due. Sorry, to give Kevin Friend his due. He did wait. He waited.
Did he?
Didn't kick off straight away. He waited about a minute, and he's waiting to hear
is it
from
true?
Stockley Park in his ear whether the VAR's done it.
True? Is it true that VAR reviews every goal scored?
I think they did review it. I think
because like
I
feel like the understanding is that every time a goal is scored, VAR does some type of like miniature review of every goal.
Yeah.
If not, they should. If not, they should.
Even if it's just to look at the team's badge to see whether it stands or not.
Yeah. That was another frustrating decision by the officials.
The officials failed us again, and it's not just this game. How many times have you had Pawson referee a Palace game? I can go back to 2018 against West Ham. He was in the middle. Nothing. He gave us nothing. Every single time these guys come up, Kevin Friend, Moss, Pawson, any other idiot in that division, the refs let us down. So there you go, man.
They're not good enough. They're simply not good enough. I've come to the conclusion. I've said it for ages. We talked about ref on Palace Focus before, and my simple solution is: if the refs here are not good enough, go abroad and try to bring in refs that are at that quality.
Absolutely.
That's how I stand. Because
if we're bringing in the best players in the world, we should be bringing in the best officials in the world.
Exactly. If you want to have the best league in the world,
and if you want to have the best league in the world, period.
I'm telling you now. I don't know if you lot are going to agree with me on this or not, but the Premier League has absolutely shit themselves. Those so-called big six threaten to break away, okay? And the Premier League has shit themselves, and they're getting everything. They consistently get everything. You know what? A Liverpool win makes money. It sells merchandise. It makes YouTube clips. It makes highlight clips, advertising clips, etc., etc. A Liverpool win
in the race for number one.
That was two money motivated decisions. I'm sorry. This league is corrupt.
Yeah, because if they only get 1 point out of that, if they get 1 point out of that game, or if they lose it, the chances of them being able to compete for first place with Man City and not have Man City run away with it diminishes significantly.
I don't think enough people watch this show to sue us or libel us from the Premier League. But there were people on Twitter.
Hold my beer.
Saying that Liverpool win was certain because Man City only picked up a point.
Exactly.
Not one pundit thought either goal decisions were correct.
How
often does
I haven't seen one yet.
Not one pundit.
Not one pundit.
Listen,
even Liverpool fans, they're saying the referee had a shocker.
I don't know. A few of them were terrible, though, man.
Of course, there's always going to be one or two fans who say, "All right, you don't be sorry." But the majority of them that I've seen,
it's Live Varpool, right? That's what it is. And you know what I'll tell you? Even going like completely beyond the realms of it, a Liverpool title win, a Man City title win, it makes money. You know what? This will never happen. But a Palace title win, Do you know why it won't? It might not happen. We could be as good as you want, but we will not make them money, mate. That's what I'm telling you.
You want the elite to always stay at the top. You want United and Liverpool because they got a big fan bases. That's why even when Leicester won the league, there was a report. What report was it? Was it last year? I just don't want to.
They said we can't have another Leicester.
You can't have another Leicester.
Yeah. You guys seen that as well. I see. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because it doesn't benefit for teams like Palace or teams like Leicester, even maybe West Ham. I'm not too sure how the league actually thinks about West Ham, but teams like that, I don't think they want them to do well. Whereas, imagine if West Ham done well, or imagine if there was Palace, we went in the top 7, or Leicester went in the top 4, top 3, or I don't know, maybe Southampton done well. That is what makes the Premier League exciting because you don't know what the result is going to be. Norwich can face Man United and get a result despite not winning the game all season long. That is what makes the Premier League special. But what these people at the top want is they want the elite to stay at the top, to win the games that they should be winning, and they want the rest to stay at the bottom. We saw it.
What's
even
most
with the Super
annoying,
League stuff,
though,
they don't respect us.
What's most annoying is there's no recalls. Kevin Friend will still be refereeing the next round of Premier League games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he will.
They should be.
Won't affect his paycheck one bit.
Interview officials after the game. Maybe one solution. I mean, the way he was smiling when he came off, you didn't see DL because you were a bit further back. But I saw quite near the tunnel. The smug
Yeah, he
grin.
was smug. He had that
Secondly,
security guard next to him.
we should be able to hear what they're saying between the ref and the
100%.
VAR. And they're saying, oh, no, we can't have that because they were here swearing on telly, the players swear. Look, how many times in a match do the commentators apologise for the bad effing language?
You don't need bad effing. It's not nothing to do with that, Nick. What in the VAR room? They're going to be swearing at each other.
No, the players.
We should definitely.
We
when
don't
they go
need
over,
that.
when he goes over to the screen, we should be able to hear what they're saying when he goes over.
Exactly,
to the screen,
simple as that. Come on, these players swearing and all that. That's just them poor
But
excuses.
you know what? Like the
Poor
referee
excuses.
he's unapproachable. These refs are now unapproachable. Like, you know what? A manager should be able to go to a referee and give them a piece of their mind without feeling like these refs are unapproachable. You can't make a comment. You can't do this. You can't do that. They're above the law, mate.
Yeah, they can't be.
Refs
They can't be beyond reproach. That doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for the health of the game that officials can be above reproach from any type of reprimand or detrimental conduct based on what they're doing. Like, you're paid to do a job, and if you're not doing your job well, guess what? You're going to be reprimanded. Therefore, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or you're not doing it at a good enough level.
Yeah, I've just got to give big up Mr. Fubar there, who said, may Steve Claridge's shins crumble with osteoporosis because he doesn't like Leicester. Good man, man after my own heart. It's been lovely talking to you lot. You having a week off next week?
Yeah.
No, we'll be working.
Oh no,
we'll
we're
be back
cup
in,
game,
man.
we
haven't
got
we?
transfer deadline day. We got loads more content coming up.
So you're coming on Monday instead of Tuesday?
Maybe we'll see. We haven't actually discussed it yet, but we'll be here.
Looking forward to a sellout in the cup.
Yeah, that should be exciting.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that
That'll be fun
should
for
be
sure.
good. But thank you, Nick, for joining us.
Take it easy, everyone.
You too.
Hey, before we move on, I just wanted to put out these stats that I just found, because I know we were talking about Anderson and how well he was doing with at the back with his stats. Listen to this. So Mark Gahey didn't lose a ground duel at all against Liverpool. That's the first thing. Didn't lose a ground duel. It's his 11th game this season where he hasn't lost a ground duel. He leads all players across Europe in percentages of ground duels won, 80%.
He's very good.
And and there's no player outside of the current top 3 that has more completed passes than him either.
Yeah. Well, Mark, you know what? I think Mark Guay's having a positive influence on Joachim Anderson. I think he's having a positive influence on Joachim Anderson.
Absolutely.
Look,
he's a
Joachim Anderson has never been a bad player, though. He's never been a bad player. There's been areas where you can naturally.
He has shortcomings. Yeah,
he has shortcomings, and I think playing alongside Mark Guay and just looking at Mark Guay, training with him, starting literally every single game when you're fit with Mark Guay alongside you, you learn a thing or two. And that's what I've noticed. Like his IQ, even Joachim Anderson's IQ now, when to go for the ball, when not to go for the ball. You have seen the changes there to his play, which we already spoken about as well. And also, finally, there's nothing to talk about here with Liverpool's third goal. Everyone's spoken about it. should have been a penalty. I said in my reaction, if this is a penalty from now onwards, if you're on a one-on-one,
straight.
exactly. If you're on a one-on-one, kick the ball to the left, just let it go for throw-in and just run into the goalkeeper. Because honestly, if that's the case, then the game is gone. The game is gone.
That looked like a bad glitch from a video game.
Yeah.
You know what though? That cheating little shit Jota though, man. He properly played for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but he's smart with it. He's smart with it. Kevin Friend could have bigged up his reputation if he actually went to the screen and instead of going to the screen and giving away a penalty every single time like they do, go to the screen and say, I got it right. I got it right. You're wrong. I got it right. This is still not a penalty. But in fact, he goes to the screen. He's shown a pause. He doesn't even see the full picture. It's a pause of literally Vicente catching Jota, and he says, "All right, I was wrong." That's
probably all
you
he saw.
They
probably didn't play it in motion or anything.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through some more comments as well. So the referee, the captain should be able to approach the referee.
What's the point of being a captain if you can't?
Exactly. I don't understand the point of captains nowadays. Then the refs would also give them more opportunity to be a personality. Oh, Mike Dean would love that. Can you imagine Mike Dean getting the chance to just get their show? Mike Dean would love it, honestly. That alone would make them harder on the big teams players because they weren't ones to come across as weak. AY says, wish I was there for the cup game, but got work. Refs need a reset. Loves Vieira's passions with the refs. Roy was so passive. And yeah, Henry, we'll post a link in just a second as well. So let's quickly finish this Liverpool chat. And finally, I thought our goal was good. I like that pass from Schlupp. I think he's better suited out wide. We have overrun a bit for the show, so we can't go into it. Sorry about that. Just quickly, this stat. So according to Matchday 365, he's got the stat. Palace's expected goals versus Palace's expected goals against. And all of these games, we have actually lost. So Liverpool at home, better expected goals. West Ham at home, better expected goals. Villa at home, better expected goals. Southampton, Burnley away, Newcastle at home.
We drew Southampton, Burnley, Newcastle, Brighton, and West Ham.
We got 0 wins. We got 0 wins out of these games. Yeah, we didn't get the wins. Yeah, sorry.
Gotcha.
Newcastle, Brighton. So lots of home games there. Couple of away games. My question is this luck or is it down to talent? What do you guys think is the problem?
Or is this an indication of what we should be doing, or is this an indication that XG is a terrible stat?
I think
it's a terrible stat. I think it's a terrible stat.
We shouldn't be.
A lot of people think it's a shit stat.
You should be.
No, not really. We had our chances, though, T. We had our chances. So on the weekend, we talked about we should have came out the game potentially with a point. Alisson had a very good game, but when you look at the other games as well, it's a question. What do you think it is? Have we just been unlucky? Is that it for you guys?
In a matter of speaking, I mean, unlucky in the fact that you have a mare of a game from an official. Unlucky in the fact that Brighton gets a ball over the top on some bullshit and tie. Yeah, I guess you.
But we should have still scored more goals.
True,
according to that stat. So we are you saying a bit of unluckiness, Stan? What about you? Do you think talent plays a part?
I think we need to convert our chances, but I don't pay much attention to XG, mate. I gave Brighton so much abuse for XG last season
I said it in our chat as well. Are we turning into the new Brighton? God forbid.
Yeah, I can't possibly go back on my word and start using XG. Listen, you got to score goals. We haven't scored. Well, we've scored the same amount of goals as we did last season. We've already scored, but we haven't put a lot of our chances away. But we're a work in progress. Wait till you see us next season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to be a serious team.
We faced one of the best sides in Europe, and we managed. We should have got at least a point out of them.
Yep.
So film review show says no kill instinct. Gareth says why aren't ex-players on VAR board or even becoming referees? Maybe because it's a union-led job for the boys set up. Yeah, how many of these refs? What level of football do they play? Because some of the decisions that they do make, it just doesn't make any sense. For me,
why would anyone with legitimately half a brain cell become a referee? Have you played? Obviously, you manage a football team, but I've played Croydon Sunday League, Saturday leagues in London, and even over here. Do you know how much abuse referees get?
That's why you have referee shortages everywhere right now.
Even
Yeah, even in the
Grassroots
US
as
here.
well.
Yeah, grassroots level.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do it because nobody wants to take the abuse that comes with it.
I can count on one hand, like in the whole time I've played football, how many good refs I've had that like talked you through the game. And one of them was my mate who ended up turning up just to ref a game because he didn't have anyone else. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. So enough about the referees. We talked about them even more than we probably should have done. But you know, finally with the Liverpool game, overall feelings, I just thought we were just unlucky with the result. And another day, easily could have got a point out of that. And we just have to carry on. Even the stats prove it as well. Even if you don't like XG, maybe you're saying it doesn't matter about the stats. But for me, I think the XG and just watching us play, we are playing good football. And sooner rather than later, we are going to be putting them chances and beating these teams and getting the points that we should get out of these games. But before we do go, Stan, do you have to? I think you have to head off in just a second.
I'm good for a few minutes.
Oh, you're good for a few minutes. Just let's move on to the actual now transfer rumors, and this is the part of the show which is spicy. It is. I like it because we've got some, as you see from the title, very, very interesting. I didn't expect this to happen. Donny Van de Beek. So according to rumors, Donny Van de Beek is rumored to join Palace until the end of the season on a loan deal with no obligation to buy or clause in which we can buy him in the end. This is according to various sources that's been coming out today. Apparently, Man United are not so keen on him leaving out on loan, but Donny Van de Beek does want to go and play first team football, according to the sources out there. So what do you guys think about this Donny Van de Beek rumors? Just quickly, I'll start with you, Stan. He'll be for me. I think he'll be a great addition,
mate. He's a serious player. I know he hasn't played much at United, but Ajax Academy nominated. He had a Ballon d'Or nomination.
He's played major minutes in the Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League. Like, believe me when I say this, like, people are going to be crying because it might stop Eze, etc., etc. Eze's had a bad injury. This second half of the season is about him building himself up. This guy makes us better if he comes in. He's a serious player. So get it done. Like, oh my God, what a player if we get him, mate. Another parish present. Me and my mate used to call it parish presents, like the Bakary Sakho, the Kabai, the Mishi the first time, the Mamadou Sakho last day of the season. Be another Steve Parish present.
And Dougie Freedman as well. Don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on Dougie Freedman as well, because he's got a couple of gems.
Listen, I have it on very good information that this deal is definitely possible. That's all I'm saying, and I have it on very good information. Yeah, there's lots of people saying it as well, so it's looking likely, but I don't know when it's going to be. But look, it's going to sound crazy, but he was nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Just sitting there and saying it with a straight face is impossible. Donny Van de Beek. Look, I'm not saying he was nominated and he was close to winning the Ballon d'Or, but he was nominated. And some people don't respect Ballon d'Or for one reason or another, but that is still very highly rated.
But it's biased. You saw what they did to Lewandowski this year. That's why people don't like it.
Killed him.
He was still in 2019. He was nominated for that itself. For me, we are targeting Ballon d'Or nominated players to Crystal Palace. Shows one, how far we've got, but also a pool a manager like Vieira can have in this team. Look, I don't want to be that guy, but Donny Van de Beek under Roy Hodgson and type of.
He's not coming, bro. He ain't coming.
Or Hodgson plays him. He's probably not going to play. And then we're going to be talking about the fact that we're benching a guy who was a Ballon d'Or candidate.
And losing 7-0 to Liverpool.
Facts.
So let's quickly get Henry in as well. Henry, just your thoughts on it.
Yeah, couldn't really agree more with what you guys are saying, really. Like, it does really mark how far we've come if we can actually... I mean, what's actually going... I mean, I don't really know. It's just rumours, but is it actually close to happening?
Well, there's rumours.
It's got some legs, apparently.
Listen, if Fabrizio Romano's tweeting it,
it's Fabrizio tweeting it, is it?
Fabrizio.
Oh, okay, I believe it.
Fabrizio Romano, The Athletic, BBC,
Us and
whoever's
was it
out there really
Valencia?
are talking about it. Yeah, Valencia's also in for the
Yeah.
running, but
It
maybe he might want to stay in the Premier League to prove himself as a Premier League player. That I
Yeah,
think for me, that
playing
makes
here
more
in
sense.
England.
Exactly.
yeah.
But let's run through some questions as well. Gareth says Luke and Jaro to leave to get Donny in the squad. For me, I
No.
don't think that is.
Why
There's
would
they
no
need to
correlation
leave?
between that.
No one-
Yeah,
no
there's no
one's
correlation.
leaving.
You don't need to have
No
one
one's
and do the
leaving.
other. You don't
No
need to
need
do
players
one and
to
do the
leave.
other.
3 players, competition. That's all I say.
Yeah, I don't think Luke and Jaro will leave because of Van de Beek. It's a loan deal, so I don't think
Yeah,
that's
and
going to
also
happen.
Luca and Gyro are more defensive players, and Van de Beek is more of an
Mm.
attacking player. So I don't really see the logic in that.
Yeah, Louis says this is a very good question, and this brings to my other point about Donny Van de Beek.
Oh, I know the
How
answer to
does
that
he?
one.
How does he fit into this Palace midfield? Because by him joining Palace, he has to start. He's not coming Palace to sit around on a bench. He could easily do that at Manchester United.
Right.
So who does Donny Van de Beek replace?
got an
Considering
easy
we
answer
don't have
for
Maka
this.
as well and Kiyate.
I've got an easy
Go on,
answer.
Henry.
Jeffrey Schlupp.
Jeffrey Schlupp. All right.
Because Jeffrey
this bring-
Schlupp, I appreciate his what he does to the team. Every single time I see him in the middle of a free on the left, I'm thinking, why, oh why? Because we all know that's not his best position, and he always gets out fought. Like he just always gets physically beaten.
I disagree. I don't disagree that he replaces him, but I think for the position, I think he goes in at 10, and you have Gallagher and Hughes can hold.
Yeah, but what
All
about
right.
Kiyate when he comes back?
We'll see. It's competition
There's
for places.
Kiyate. Yeah,
Mm.
there's Kiyate, but for me, my main talking point that I want to bring out of this is
And McCarthy
Eze.
as well.
For
Right.
me,
If
it's
you're gonna play him in the 10, there's no reason to bring in Van de Beek because you
Yeah,
can just play
this
Eze
is
at the
okay.
10.
So exactly, this is the conversation that I want to
But
get
Eze
into.
isn't
So,
Eze isn't starting, not for a while.
so Eze isn't starting. Yes, Eze isn't starting. But for me, look, when Eze first joined the club, QPR fans said it. People who watch Eze said it. He is better suited to playing through the middle rather than out wide.
Mhm.
That was the case, and it still is the case right now. And I understand that Eze hasn't started through the middle yet because Jeffrey Schlupp has been ahead of him, and he has started out wide. But I think in the long run, that's where he has to play. So, what does this mean for Eze? Do you think that we're not trying to rush him back for this season? Because
Yeah.
if Donny Van de Beek comes into the side, then is Eze going to get that many opportunities? I'm not too sure. I wanted to play through the
I
middle.
really don't think it impedes his job. Like, I don't think it's the end of Eze if Van de Beek comes. I
No,
just
it's
think
not the end of Eze, but
not at all.
he's-
I mean, I think
don't.
Eze still has a massive part to play in our future.
I tell you one thing. He's had a horrendous injury. Like that injury,
Of
that's
course.
like it's worse than doing your cruciates. That injury, okay. Remember Loftus-Cheek had it. It took him so long to get back. They're
Yeah.
managing him properly. Trust me, he's going to start games. He's going to come off the bench. He looks sharp against Liverpool. He's on a multi-year deal at Palace. I wouldn't worry about the impact it's going to have on Eze. It will have,
No,
if anything, it will have a positive impact on Eze.
not at all. I mean,
Yeah,
it will have
They
a
can-
big impact on Eze. And his determination to win his place will be a lot harder, stronger as well, for sure.
You might
The
see,
only
like,
problem-
we've not seen enough of Donny Van de Beek. Like, he might come on loan and be lightweight. You don't know. Like, I don't think he will
You
be.
don't know,
Like,
but you got. I think
player,
you got to give him a chance. I mean, it kind of reminds me of, like, not in terms of quality, but when Max Meyer was there, it sort of reminds me of him because, but you know, if Van de Beek came under Hodgson, he probably wouldn't have got a chance, to be honest.
I told you,
think
Roy
he's coming
Hodgson would have
under
played him
Hodgson,
at
I'll be
left back.
honest.
And
Yeah,
Watford will
I
not
don't
beat us,
think-
by the way. Watford will definitely not beat us. I'm
Yeah,
confident.
you lot need to stop crying about Watford
Needs to
beating
stop
us
going on
before
about
a
Watford.
ball's even kicked, man. Like, come on.
Henry, I hope you just didn't jinx it. If you just jinxed it, then this might be a last appearance. I'm sure.
Well,
Because you're saying that so comfortably.
Liverpool, so you jinxed that.
You don't need to stop
Such
crying
confidence.
about Watford beating us, man. Like,
The
No.
ball's
Watford,
not even been kicked.
Come on.
Roy Hodgson's the manager, for God's sake. We've got all our
All right.
We're gonna have
Calm down,
90%
calm down.
possession.
Let's go back to transfers. Let's go back to transfers.
Stop it, man.
Yeah.
Stop it.
All right, cool. Let's go back to transfers before this goes terribly wrong and they do end up doing a double over us. So with Van de Beek, we don't have the obligation to buy him, so it's a 6-month potential deal. And at the end of it, I think United do want to see what he can do. But the only potential problem is you're going to have two midfielders there in Gallagher and
Yep.
Van de Beek if they were
Yeah.
to join, where
There-
at the
there
end of the
lies the
season, 2 out your midfield 3 are gone. So you have to get new players, get them used to the system, or maybe bring in Eze. It could be interesting. It could be interesting to see how much it will impact us in the long run. Not playing Eze and playing Van de Beek ahead of him if he does join, if it does happen. But another rumor, the final rumor that I want to talk about, is about Phillipe. And this rumor is not about him leaving. It's about him signing on a permanent deal. According to The Athletic, Crystal Palace are seriously considering converting Mateta's loan spell to a permanent deal after his improved performances. They are unlikely to trigger the 50 million euro clause in the loan agreement to buy him, but may strike a deal at a lower price. What do you guys think about Phillipe joining Palace?
Who's been saying that? When you tell me who's been saying that, go back weeks and weeks and weeks. Who has been saying? And now the Athletic has reported. Who said it? Tell me who said it.
So let's start with you then, T. Let's start with you then,
T.
T.
Don Fifield get a job at the Athletic, man.
Hey man, hey, pay me. I'm ready to go.
What do you think about Mateta joining us on a permanent deal? What do you think is something that you want to see?
I think it's the right move. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it at all. Like the thing, I think for the most part, for most of us, from the time that he came in under the previous regime to now, was we wanted to see what this dude could do. And unfortunately, prior to this season, we really didn't get a chance to. And in those limited appearances, we didn't get to see much.
Because Hodgson basically punished him for scoring.
Exactly. So I guess as a fan base, we kind of got conditioned to saying, okay, well, maybe this guy's not good enough.
You know what? I know you scored a back heel against our arch rivals away from home to help win us the game, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's just not play you for another 6 months.
Which makes no sense at all. But it's one of those things where we finally are now getting to see this guy get a run of games, get some actual play, and then we're seeing the results of what. We're talking about a dude that was in the Bundesliga scoring double-digit goals, and that's not that's not easy. Hey, I hate to say it as an American, that's not the freaking MLS that he's playing in.
No,
you know what I'm saying? That's legitimate teams. That's legitimate competition. He had a brace against Bayern. Like, this dude is legit. He can play. Yeah. We know that.
He can play. And Vieira's got him up to speed as well. Like running the channels, run here, run there. Nice little layoff. So listen, for the money that I'm hearing, get it done. Just do it.
Like I said, if they're restructuring how much is it worth? The deal.
That's my other point.
I'm hearing how much 6 million up front.
I say 6 to 10. Probably.
And 8 with add-ons. That's what I'm hearing. 6 million, 8 with add-ons.
I go as high as 10 for him.
Yeah, about 10, I'd say. 10 to.
What are you going to get for 10 million these days? Nothing, mate.
And
you're not going to get nothing. Yeah, you're right.
What are you going to get? What are you going to get that you know? What kind of?
Actually,
are you Olise proven piece? But even then, we didn't necessarily know how Olise was going to be in the Premier League when we bought him. You know what I mean? We know what Mateta can do right now. We've seen
because we've seen it.
So now, how many times do you get to make a $10 million purchase of a player and you know what he can do?
Yeah. Exactly.
I just for the Mateta situation, this might sound a bit weird, but I'm not. It depends on the price. I think 6 to 10 million pounds. Yes, I agree with it, but you have to realize that this Mateta hype has been happening for a month.
It hasn't been for a month. Who else are we gonna get that is a
but there's so many. But there is so many. Yeah, but there's so many other strikers that we could go and explore.
Do you know what though?
But why,
you can flip him quickly.
Why it's not broken?
But there are other guys we can get, but they're going to cost more. And at the same time, we're not sure if they're going to have success here.
Yeah, if we get someone new, they're going to have to reintegrate into the team.
All I'm saying is, let's wait till the summer before we say. For me, anyways, I'm going to wait till the summer before I say yes or no.
I mean,
here's the thing, but here's the thing, D. Here's the thing. If we wait until the summer, and he continues to play better and better and better and better and better, what happens? His price goes up.
Yeah.
And now we either got to pay that money that we have originally signed on to pay,
or we have to pay an inflated price,
or we got to pay an inflated price on him.
Yeah,
it's just like what Stan said. It's just like what Stan said. We have a better chance right now of signing him on the low for 10 and being able to flip him for more down the road. He's 23.
Yeah. If he has like a good season and a half, Like he's a 20 million
He'll be
striker.
20, 30 million now because now he's scoring goals in the Bundesliga and he scored goals in the Premier League. The dude is proven across Europe.
And
It
as
makes
well,
a lot of commercial sense to buy him.
when
Like, it
we
makes
when
a
we
lot-
signed Ben,
Do
when
you-
we signed
do-
Ben
just
Teke-
quickly, Benteke. I want to quickly talk about Benteke. Sorry, Henry, to cut you off. Do you
No,
think
it's
this impacts? Do you think this impacts Benteke's position going forward as well? If
Yeah.
for me, Edouard is a clear striker. Going
Yeah,
forward,
absolutely.
if you have a proper number 10, give the ball to Edouard. He's going to finish his
Yeah.
chances. So he's our number one
Benteke's
option.
got his
And JP
Benteke's
that as
got his
well.
work cut out for sure.
No, I'm letting. I mean, if we bring him on permanently, we let Benteke go.
Nah,
Benteke-
no way.
I mean,
no
I mean,
way.
I don't think he
Man,
wants to
Benteke-
go. That's the thing. I don't think
Yeah,
Benteke wants to go.
He doesn't want to go. I get
Benteke
that.
is
I
gonna
get
go in
that.
a
But he's
year or
30.
so
He's
anyway,
30
so-
plus years old,
Yeah,
and he's on
getting
high
more-
wages, and he's going to be your third striker. Let him go.
I would say, honestly,
I'm not gonna pay my third striker $100,000 a week. I'm not gonna do it.
we might
That's
need
bad
it.
where we are.
business. That's bad
Let's see
business.
where we are at the end of
No,
the
but
season.
what if both of our strikers get injured?
Well, you're gonna bring in another striker, Henry. It's just not gonna be a guy that's making $100,000 a year. You're gonna bring another striker in the summertime, but you're just not gonna
Yeah.
keep a guy on your bench that's 32 years old making $100,000 a year and he's your third
A week.
striker. That's
A week.
stupid.
He's not on
excuse
that
me.
no more. He took a pay cut to stay
Oh,
back.
he's probably
Yeah,
making
yeah.
80. That's still
80 Yeah,
top third of the team, and he's your third striker.
I think be careful to write Benteke off because
Yeah.
I'm not writing him off.
exactly.
I'm just saying that if I'm going to keep JP full time permanently, and I'm going
JP's
to
been
also
there.
have Edouard, I'm going to get rid of Benteke. That's all I'm saying.
JP's
After
been there a
when it's all
minute.
done.
Let's just see. And the other thing I would say is I don't think Nketiah's coming because from what I've heard, he wants insane money,
And
like
he's not gonna,
insane wages. He's never done it in the Premier League, and he wants. I heard in excess of 80 to 100 grand a week to sign for Palace. So apparently he's going to the Bundesliga.
I'm glad.
Apparently someone's gonna
We
buy
dodged
him
a
there.
bullet there for sure.
he hasn't proved himself to get that type of money.
So, like I said, let's just see. I think that front three has got at least this half of the season and all of next season in it before we start worrying those three strikers. Personally,
Mateta is a bit like Benteke in the sense that when we got Benteke, we thought that it would be a long-term plan, and the plan was that we'd get a lot more goals out of him, albeit he has scored quite a few. But it's like, I think if Mateta does sign for permanently, then you can't really see much hope for Benteke as at the moment. Like, if things carry on this way, is what I'm saying.
Well, look, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be talking about JP and Mateta and JP and Mateta. Great, both of them are the same players. JP and Benteke in more detail next week. We'll be here. Potentially, we're planning to have a live transfer deadline day show, and also next week Tuesday at our usual time at 8 p.m. We want to see you all here to talk about the Liverpool game. We're going to be talking about the Liverpool game and looking back at our transfer business in this window. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in live. Send in your comments, leave the like. We all appreciate all your support so far. Thank you to Henry, thank you to Nick, thank you to Luke, T, Stan, every single person who joined the show. You all made the show. And yeah, we'll be back potentially this week for video if there's any transfer business going on. But if there isn't, on Monday night and on Tuesday night, we might have a double header of a live show. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Henry, before you go, thank you once again for coming on, as I've said, and hopefully catch you on next week.
Yeah, hopefully before the Liverpool game, we can get through to the next round. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, then. Fantastic.
All right, then. That's it for us today. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, up the Palace.